Without further ado, I want to welcome to our Monthaven stage the illustrious, the incredible Mr. Marty Stuart.
Thank you, Sarah. Wow, look at this crowd. It's William Lee Golden's fault. I was telling the story when I was about 11, 12 years old. My mom let me play in a gospel band down in Mississippi. And the Oak Ridge Boys were playing in Jackson. And William Lee Golden is and was and always will be the coolest cat on planet Earth. And I went to see the Oak Ridge Boys several times because the people we were playing music with were Oak Ridge Boys folks. And so William Lee would always give me free records. And so it's his fault that I'm here today. Thank you.
Thank you.
But the coolest thing that I've seen around William Lee was 3 or 4 years ago at Publix. We all wound up at Publix, right? This little boy, these two little boys were walking around. They went like this when they saw William Lee. And they went around again. And the third time one of them said, "Hello, Santa Claus." You're my hero. I love you. I love you. A lot of the Native American pictures on this wall were inspired by hanging out with William Lee. Hendersonville, Tennessee is a town that meant a lot to me growing up because it's where the Oak Ridge Boys lived. It's where Johnny Cash lived. It's where Connie Smith lived and Ray Price and Roy Orbison and the Osborne brothers helped me out. Who else, William Lee? Roy Orbison. Yeah. It was where country music royalty lived, you know? That's where rock and roll royalty lived. And when I first got a job in Nashville, the first place I lived in town was with Lester Flatt and Gladys out on the lake. And so it kind of feels like home around here, you know? And the other day, Connie and I were headed this way on Gallatin Road, and I saw the Oaks bus getting on the expressway right over here. And the sun was going down, and I thought how many times that brown bus has pulled out and gone into the sunset, carrying Hendersonville, Tennessee with it everywhere it goes. Because they're the best ambassadors, but it's an honor for me and Connie to live here, and thank you for doing this today. It is beautiful. It's a wonderful place.
Marty Stuart's out on the hottest tour in country music.
We're hot right now. That boy drew 22,456 people last night. That's good. Thank you, Rusty.
I see it. You follow Chris Staples and seeing all your photos out there with him.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of you, Marty.
Thank you, William.
You're on the hottest tour out there.
It's hot. It's happening. Tomorrow night we're at the Ryman with the Birds, and so. I knew this house when kind of a crazy, wonderful, eccentric family lived here. And according to what I see today, this place is still full of crazy ones. Yeah. My favorite photographer in the world is here, my mama Hilda. How about a hand for Hilda? My wife Connie, my sister Jennifer. Leroy and Matt, and these folks are here from California. I'm going to do one song, and it goes with that photograph right there of John R. Cash. And Connie and I live next door to John and June on Caudill. And if you looked at our house, John and June were to the left, and Roy Orbison rebuilt on the right. And there was a lot. If you go over there and drive down Caudill, you will see there was a vacant lot between our old house and where the Cash house was. And in the 60s, most of you know Roy Orbison had a house there. And a tragic event happened there one night. Two of his sons were playing with hairspray and cigarette lighter, and it caught the house on fire. Took the house down and took the boys' lives. So he never wanted to live there again. And he sold that piece of property to John for $1. And John, on a handshake, promised Roy that he would never build anything on that ground, but he would put living things back into the earth. And so his version of living things was trees. He put fruit trees, he put apple trees, pecan trees, pear trees, fig bushes, and made a beautiful sanctuary. He used to take water out there and water them when they were this big. And if you go look now, they became, you know, big trees. And so after John died, Connie and I bought that piece of ground from John Carter Cash. And we made him the same deal. As long as we lived there, there would never be anything built there because Hendersonville has enough houses and Walmarts and stuff, you know. So that's a sacred piece of ground. And so after John died, that picture was taken 4 days before he passed away. It's the last picture ever taken of him. We wrote a song that day. And on the way out of the room, I said, he said, "Is there anything in this room you want?" I said, "No, sir. Just your love." He said, "You got it." I said, "I'm going to Washington. You all right?" He said, "I'm all right." William I said, "Tell me the truth. How's your spirit?" He said, "My spirit's strong." I said, "You got plenty of rope left?" He said, "I got rope left." But 4 days later, he was gone. So I got the word coming back home from Pennsylvania that he had passed away. And I had to stay in the bus and, you know, dodge phone calls and take phone calls from press, all the family and friends all day long. Finally got to Hendersonville and just let my feathers down. And after it was all over, I tried to do what a lot of songwriters did and write a song about him. And it never would come until the next spring. He died on September the 12th of 2003. So in that orchard between those houses, every spring, as you all know, we get a massive visit from the crows picking the blossoms. I don't know about y'all, but I love crows because they're weird and strange birds and they dress like Johnny Cash. So I was over there one day and this old crow was hanging around and he was just raising all kind of cane. And the next morning I got up and the song finally came down from heaven. So this is for JR and it is called Dark Bird. On a cool September morning in the fall of 203, a crier from Jerusalem brought the news to me. His words were sharp and dreaded, they made a lonesome sound. They snapped my heart in two like a stick stepped on the ground. Well, I cried and cried and cried, felt the cutting of the pain, that I quietly said goodbye, so long in Jesus' name. Dark bird, watch you fly, dark bird to another sky. And I'll bet you were a sight when you hit that cloud of love and flew out the other side. Form of a dove, dark bird, dark bird. "6'1" and a box of steel and a pretty coat of black. Well, I watched the world watch themselves watch your final act, and I couldn't help but notice when they laid you in the earth. A train went by, headed north, for whatever it is worth. Your voice echoes in the wind, it rumbles through the trees. But after you've been everywhere, I guess it's time to leave. Dark bird, watch you fly, dark bird to another sky. And I'll bet you were a sight when you hit that cloud of love and flew out the other side. In the form of a dove, dark bird, dark bird.